Welcome back to D&J React, where music sparks conversation.
Every day.
In today's conversation, it's 9 K-pop demographics that will change the way you see K-pop. I don't know what that means, but
I'm about to find out.
we are about to find out. So let's not waste any time. Let's jump right in.
Change my mind.
BTS and XO, two juggernauts in the industry, selling a combined 13 million sales in just the last 2 years. Now, as the two most popular boy groups, their demographics are a safe representation of K-pop boy groups as a whole. So, of the millions of fans, who actually listens to BTS and XO? For XO, 25%, only a quarter of their audience, is male, the other 75% being female. And the same seems to hold true for BTS. 24% of ARMY were male, while a clear majority, 76%, were female. However, the age distribution does vary a bit. For XO, 32% were 10 to 19-year-olds, 35% were 20-year-olds, 12% were 30-year-olds, 15% were 40-year-olds, and 6% were over 50. A pretty normal and average age distribution. As suspected, most of the audience were teens and young adults. Moving on to BTS, 24% were 10 to 19-year-olds, 26% were 20-year-olds, 19% were 30-year-olds, and hold on, this doesn't seem right. 27% were 40
wild.
to 49 years old.
Wow, that's crazy.
That's wild.
Whoa! Over a quarter of BTS listeners.
I feel like because the 40 to 49-year-old has gone through a bunch of bullshit in their life, and this music resonates with them a lot more than the younger generation who still has a lot of bullshit to go through.
Yeah, they have a lot of learning to do. They've never really experienced hardships like what these guys have gone through, so they can't relate truly to what they've done.
Yeah.
They enjoy the music, obviously.
No, they understand,
they enjoy the
but
lyrics.
to go through something and then hear an artist kind of talk about it, you
Totally
know,
different.
and it relates to you. I mean, that's pretty big. So the 40 to 49-year-old makes sense, actually.
We're in their 40s. All right, someone explain this to me. Where are my 40-year-olds at? I'm looking at you, Randall Park. All right, guys, so we're going to be looking at and analyzing some different K-pop demographics. Now, we won't be going over all the groups because this will turn out to be like a 3-hour video. So I just took some select groups that had interesting stats and deviated from the norm. Now, if you think BTS and XO's distribution was pretty whack, you need to check out 17. The 13-member group from Playlist is one of the heaviest skewed I've seen, with 82% being female and 18% being male. The age distribution seems to have two significant outliers, with 46% being teens and 23% being 40-year-olds. Which makes me think, what about 17 resonates with teens and 40-year-olds that wouldn't resonate with 20 and 30-year-olds?
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, it is
Now
kind of
let's bring
odd.
this back to a group that you might be familiar with. Big Bang. A group loved by all. Boy, girl, old, young, and the numbers reflect that. An almost perfectly equal distribution, with 50% being male and 50% being female. And as Big Bang was in the height of their career in the mid-2010s, they lack teenage fans, with 15% being 10 to 19-year-olds, an overwhelmingly large majority, 51% being 20 to 29-year-olds,
Interesting.
15% in their 30s, 12% in their 40s, and 6% over 50. The Big Bang brand and the Big Bang sound has always had a very wide appeal. Their strong, up-tempo hip-hop sound, which gave Big Bang that mature appeal, loved by all. Those were some of the boy group demographics, but how do the girl groups measure up? Blackpink and Red Velvet, debuting in 2016 and 2014 respectively. They rose to be two of the biggest girl groups in the industry. And according to their demographics, Red Velvet's is 37% male and 63% female. Similarly, Blackpink's listeners are 39% male and 61% female. Pretty clear majority of female listeners.
Male,
32.
that's crazy.
That's pretty wild because I was actually just having a conversation in the comments yesterday about this, and somebody was like 100% dead set that all the female groups were primarily men watching and listening, whereas it was the opposite. Like with the men's groups like BTS, it was primarily women, watching over the men. But here, it seems like even the women, the female groups, it's primarily women.
I feel
that
like
are higher demographic.
K-pop in general, it's mostly women that listen to K-pop over men. Like on every, women or male. You know?
Well, I mean, the stats show it. I mean, that's kind of what we're seeing.
Yeah, that's interesting.
2% were 10 to 19-year-olds, 32% were 20-year-olds, 11% were 30-year-olds, 19% were 40-year-olds, and a small 5% were over 50. Red Velvet had a similar pattern, with 37%, 32%, 8%, 18%, and 5%. And although these numbers may seem strange, they are actually an accurate representation of girl group stands as a whole. K-pop is very much dominated by the female demographic. Similarly, as it is with most pop groups and pop music all around the world, it is a scene heavily populated by teen presence. With Blackpink and Red Velvet, 32 and 37% of their audience were teenagers. Which got me wondering, is there actually a group that has more male fans than girl fans? Introducing Twice, Asia's girl group. And as some would argue, the biggest girl group in the world. A group so popular, they've sold nearly 7 million albums. And from teenage boys to Korean soldiers in the military, Twice is infamous for their staggering amount of fanboys.
Okay. I love you, Twice! Oh my god! It's a girl! They haven't seen girls in forever. She's real.
These fanboys represent
military.
59%.
As a military dude, don't do that. Oh my god! I'm sure the
sergeant,
president of the country is like, guys,
no,
we're gonna look super weak. You can't be doing stuff like this, bud.
And of Twice's fans, while only 41% of Once's were female, and the ages seem pretty normal, with the majority being teens and young adults. Now, if you think that's strange, here is IZ*ONE, the successor to the highly successful group IOI. IZ*ONE is the monster rookie group that has been shattering records ever since their debut.
Many girls
and
are in that?
although
30?
Twice is known all over the
Jeez.
world for their fanboys, IZ*ONE is a completely different entity on its own. Males represented an incomprehensible 79% of the audience, with females only being 21%.
Holy cow. I think there's just too many
fanboys.
women in it, that's why.
32% were teens, 36% in their 20s, 23% in their 30s, 8% in their 40s, and 1% over 50. Now, not only do they have a much higher majority male, but also an older distribution than the last three groups, with nearly 60% being 20 to 39 years old. Luna, the most ambitious project in K-pop history, the girls of the month, the Avengers of the K-pop world. 12 girls brought together in one group over a period of nearly 2 years. So how does their audience compare with the other groups? The more girls in a group, the more fanboys, right? Twice had 9, IZ*ONE had 12, well, Blackpink only has 4, that's why they have so little. And it's true, Luna had an overwhelmingly male minority, representing only 29% of orbits. On the other hand, 71% were outstandingly female. 43% were teenagers, 44% were 20-year-olds, 10% were 30-year-olds, 3% were 40-year-olds, and a measly 1% were over 50. Now, Luna is very different than your...
Kind of wondering, I mean, there's so many different girl groups, and I mean, they go from like 4 members to like almost 20 members in some of these groups.
Yeah.
It's like, and some of them are like male dominated fans, and then others, like the last one, is female dominated. So, I mean, what makes the difference? All the music is very close and similar between pop and like hip hop styles.
Well, you know how they have like their own social medias? Maybe the fans, like the guys, like think they're like each individual one that has like a cute personality or just looks cute and likes the way they just go about their life and stuff. So maybe that's it. Because I don't really, when you listen to these K-pop groups, they almost all sound very similar. Like there's not much difference between most of the K-pop girl groups that I've heard. They all kind of sound very similar, except for XG and Mamamoo. Those are the only two that I'm like, okay, they got some like
the lyrics are a lot deeper too. They have more meaning to them.
But I will say we haven't dove into like Luna and we
some
did
of these
Twice.
other ones we haven't.
We did Twice before, and I was kind of like, but the other ones I haven't jumped in, so I can't really talk too much on them.
Well,
average.
They were saying too, like the demographics of some of these are like the younger teens, like 10 to 19, and what was it, 20 to like 29 in that range. So that's kind of like your TikTok, Instagram kind of age group right there, right?
Yeah.
So it's like a shorter attention span.
Mm-hmm.
Like they want things that are quick, fast, upbeat.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm wondering if maybe that's why those groups are higher on the chart, for the demographics, because that's kind of this style of music. the music's like
Like
shorter.
it's repeating itself.
It's shorter,
over and
it's
over
repeated
again.
over and over. You know, it's kind of quick paced, so maybe it kind of fits that demographic.
Basically, when they repeat the same word over and over again, it's like it's stuck in your head.
Yeah.
And also, there's not much to really think about. It's just basically all you're listening to it for is just the beat. You're not actually listening to it for lyrics.
Right.
They're just saying like cake, 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 cake over a beat.
Yeah.
So it's easy to remember. The beat's fun, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Like, you know. So.
And they're usually short songs, kind of quick. in and
yeah,
out.
like 2 minutes, 2:30.
Right.
Yeah. It's
kind of that TikTok time frame.
Yep.
K-pop group, and I made a whole entire video talking about why they're different and what makes them unique. If you want to check them out, part of what makes Luna different is their message and their values. Luna makes it a point to stand for feminism and breaking from gender roles. Many women view Luna as champions for their values and heroines that break social barriers, with Luna pretty much, for all intents and purposes, becoming a symbol for equality, justice, and diversity. Now, it makes you think, did I just make this whole video just to promote Luna? Hey guys, I hope you like my video, and as always, subscribe. No, seriously, subscribe. And remember, buy the Carol on iTunes.
Shit, what was I gonna say? Damn it, dude. I forgot what I was gonna
Just
say.
lost it.
I
We're
had
brain
it. I was
dead.
like thinking about it the whole time you were talking. I was like, I'm gonna say this when it's done.
Happens every time.
Damn, dude, I forgot.
That's what happens when
I
you
was
get
gonna
older,
say,
man.
I was gonna say our demographic on our channel is roughly 65-70%
Women.
females,
Yeah.
and like 35% males now. It
But-
was way crazier when we started. It was like 95% female
Yeah.
and like 5%
Yeah,
male.
it's kind of like started to balance out a little bit. But
Yeah.
yeah, the female demographic is definitely higher on our channel, but I think that's due to BTS and SB19.
Yeah,
You know, they really, really love those groups, so
Yeah.
I think that's part of it.
yeah, it's crazy, man. 95% female when we first started. Now
I
it's
know.
like 35% guys and
Yeah.
65-70% female. So it's definitely
It's,
kind of
it's
balanced
starting
out.
to come to a close to a balancing point.
Yeah, it's kind of good
Getting there.
actually. Good stuff, guys. Let us know if you have any more videos like this that you guys like that you would recommend. Put them down in the comments. With that being said, make sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification for more. Jump over to Patreon. We're giving 7 days away for free and 15% discount when you pay up front for the year. We built a chat for you guys so you can dump in your song recommendations instead of doing it on YouTube, because we make a list every single month of all the stuff that we're going to work on. So if you guys put your song requests over there in the chat, we'll just go through those instead of like searching around through the comments on YouTube. We'll just search straight in there. We can get to them a lot quicker. Again, guys, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you on the next one.
Peace.
Thank you.